Hi everyone, this is the Nordic Venture Show, your guide to the exciting world of Nordic startups and venture capital. In today's episode, we're exploring a startup called IO.
Hey everyone, welcome back. Ready for another deep dive?
I'm ready.
Awesome. Today we're going to be looking at sustainable fats and oils with a company called AIO.
Interesting.
So they are using biotechnology to create alternatives to things like palm oil, coconut oil, and animal fats.
Yeah, that's a really important area.
It is, and they're doing it in a way that's, well, they say it involves fermentation and upcycling, so it's kind of like the future of food and cosmetics is like brewing.
Yeah, that's a really interesting way to put it, and it does seem like a very promising approach,
Right?
We hear all the time about the negative impacts of conventional food production, especially when it comes to biodiversity.
Yeah.
But what if we could flip the script? Like, what if we could use technology to actually restore and regenerate our ecosystems?
Yeah.
I think that's really what AIO is aiming for.
Yeah, and I think it's a good point to, remind ourselves of just how big of a problem this is,
Yeah.
The World Wildlife Fund's Living Planet report from 2022, it said there's a 70% loss of biodiversity on land and a 50% loss in freshwater.
Yeah, these are pretty sobering numbers.
Yeah, they are. They're very big numbers.
Yeah, and a big chunk of that loss is directly tied to unsustainable practices in the food industry.
Exactly.
A prime example is palm oil.
Yeah.
The demand is so high,
Yeah.
and it's led to so much deforestation and habitat destruction. It's just a whole bunch of environmental issues stemming from that one ingredient.
Right, and that's why these alternatives that companies like AIO are working on,
Yeah,
they're really crucial. We need this.
absolutely.
Well, let's talk about how they're doing this. They talk
Yeah.
a lot on their website about fermentation.
Uh-huh.
So is it like brewing beer but for oil?
It is actually. It's similar because both processes utilize microorganisms to create something that is valuable.
Right.
But instead of producing alcohol, these microorganisms are like tiny little factories.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, churning out beneficial fatty acids, antioxidants, and even pigments.
Well-
Yeah, and the range of products that they're making is really impressive.
Okay, I'm super curious now. So let's go through some of them.
Yeah,
The first one I want to talk about is red oil.
okay.
Visually, it's very striking. It's like this bright red oil.
It is.
But is it just about, the aesthetics?
No, not at all.
Okay.
That red color comes from naturally occurring pigments that are produced during fermentation.
Oh, wow.
And it shows that the oil is rich in beneficial compounds. We're talking antioxidants, vitamins, things that are actually good for you.
So it's not just a visual pop.
Right.
It's a nutritional powerhouse.
Exactly.
Okay, so what are some of the conventional oils that this could potentially replace?
Well, think about vegetable oils, seed oils, even fish oil in certain applications.
Wow, fish oil.
Yeah, red oil can step in and provide a lot of the same functionality, but with a much smaller environmental footprint.
So replacing fish oil that could have massive implications for the fishing industry.
Could.
Are there any nutritional differences that we should be aware of?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
And it's definitely an area where we need more research.
Mm-hmm.
Red oil does have a lot of similar benefits to fish oil,
Okay.
but there might be subtle variations in the types and concentrations of omega-3 fatty acids, for instance.
Okay, so it's not a one-to-one swap necessarily.
Right.
It makes you wonder, though, how close are we to a future where we don't have to rely on fish oil at all?
Yeah, it's an exciting prospect.
It is. Okay, so what else do they have?
They also have something called encapsulated oil, and it's a plant-based solution for a common problem in food production,
Okay.
which is oil leakage.
Oil leakage. That's not something I've ever really thought about.
Yeah, it's a big issue, especially in products like plant-based patties, bakery items, or anything where you really want the oil to stay put.
Okay.
Because when conventional oils leak out, it affects the texture, the taste, and even the nutritional value.
Oh, okay, so it's important for a lot of reasons.
Yeah.
So it sounds like OAO has basically created this tiny package that keeps all the good stuff in them.
Exactly. Think of it like a microscopic capsule holding the oil.
Okay.
And it's a really good alternative to palm oil, soybean oil, and even nutritional yeast in some cases. So they are really focused on finding that balance between functionality and nutrition.
So they're not just thinking about replacing ingredients.
Right.
They're thinking about improving the actual performance of the product.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm seeing on their website that they have something called buttery fat.
Yeah.
Is that like a butter substitute?
It is.
Oh, wow.
It's their answer to traditional butter and coconut fat,
Okay.
providing that creamy texture and mouthfeel, but without needing unsustainable sources.
Wow. I can imagine so many applications for this, like spreads and creams and pastries.
Yeah, the possibilities are endless.
They really are. Okay,
Oh,
what's so fascinating to me is that they're not just focused on food.
Right.
Their technology seems to have, like, way bigger potential.
Yeah, they are already looking at cosmetics and household products,
Right.
trying to replace harmful ingredients like mineral oils and petrochemicals with their bio-based alternatives.
Oh, that's really cool. Okay, so how are they applying it to cosmetics?
Well, imagine replacing mineral oil, which can clog your pores,
Yeah.
with red oil, which has all those antioxidants and skin-benefiting compounds.
Yeah.
It's just a natural, sustainable way to improve skincare products and give consumers a better experience.
That makes a lot of sense. And what about household products? Is palm oil the main target there?
It is. Palm oil is in pretty much every cleaning product,
Yeah.
but it comes with a big environmental cost.
Yeah.
So AIO's oils can offer a good replacement and make our homes cleaner in more ways than one.
Oh, I like that. Yeah, so it
Okay.
seems like they're really trying to weave sustainability into every part of our lives.
They are.
Okay, but how are they doing this? What's the secret sauce behind this approach?
A big part of it is their commitment to circular design models
Okay.
and something called valorization technologies.
Okay, could you break those down for us?
Sure. Essentially, it's about closing the loop on production and consumption.
Okay.
So instead of relying on virgin resources, they're using byproducts from other industries.
Okay.
Food waste, agricultural residues, even wood,
Well,
things that normally get thrown away.
yeah.
And they're turning those things into valuable ingredients for their oils.
Oh, wow. So it's like a zero-waste system.
Exactly.
They're finding value where other people just see trash.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And speaking of amazing, I was looking at their blog, and it looks like they've had some impressive achievements recently.
Yeah, they have.
They won the Bright Starter 2024 award.
At the Talent Entrepreneurship Day.
That's a huge deal.
It is.
And they also got a lot of funding to build a demo plant in Estonia.
Yeah, investors are definitely taking notice.
That's awesome. It really does feel like we're on the edge of a big shift.
Yeah, it does.
But before we get ahead of ourselves, we need to take a step back and look at the bigger picture.
Right.
Can biotechnology really solve the sustainability crisis in the food industry? And what are the potential issues or limitations that we need to be aware of?
Yeah, those are great questions.
Mm.
And they're exactly the kind of questions that we need to be asking as we look at these new technologies.
Absolutely.
It's exciting, it's innovative,
Yeah.
but we need to be thoughtful and critical as well.
For sure.
Yeah, it's easy to get caught up in all the cool new technology,
Yeah.
but it's really important to look at these things with a critical eye.
Right.
There are always potential downsides,
Yeah,
unintended consequences.
for sure.
We need to consider those as well.
Absolutely. And I think that's what makes a deep dive like this so valuable.
Yeah.
We can't just celebrate the cool things.
Yeah.
We need to get into the complexities
Yeah.
and ask the hard questions.
Yeah, for sure.
So what are some of the challenges or limitations that you're thinking about?
Well, a big one is scalability.
Okay.
Just because something works in a lab doesn't mean it can be easily or cheaply produced on a large scale.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then even if it can be scaled up,
Yeah,
there's the question of whether consumers will accept it.
right. People can be pretty hesitant to accept new food technologies.
Yeah.
Especially if they don't fully understand the science behind it. We've seen this happen with GMOs.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's a lot of misinformation and fear out there.
For sure. So transparency is super important.
Yeah.
And educate companies like AIO need to be really clear about their processes and engage with people in a way that builds trust.
Yeah, and it's not just about consumers, right?
Yeah.
There are existing industries that might, feel threatened by these new technologies.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like the palm oil industry.
Exactly.
If these alternatives like red oil take off,
Yeah,
that could disrupt their whole business.
it could, absolutely.
And that could have, ripple effects
Yeah.
on the global economy.
Just-
Yeah, so it's important to think about those potential social and economic impacts, both good and bad.
Absolutely.
Wow. It's a very complicated issue. It's like a web
It is.
of interconnected systems.
Yeah.
And it shows how important it is to have a holistic approach
Yeah.
to sustainability. We can't just focus on replacing ingredients without thinking about the bigger picture.
Yeah, we need to think about the whole system, the whole life cycle of a product, from how it's sourced to how it's produced to what happens at the end of its life.
Right.
And find ways to lessen the environmental impact at each stage.
And that's what I think is so interesting about AIO's commitment to these circular design models. It seems like they're trying to make this closed loop where you're minimizing waste and maximizing the use of resources.
Exactly. And it really aligns with the idea of a circular economy, where we see waste as a valuable resource, not a problem.
So can you give us an example of how they're actually doing this?
Sure. One example is they use spent grain from the brewing industry. So instead of that grain going to a landfill, AIO uses it as food for the microorganisms that they use.
So they're taking something that's normally considered waste and turning it into something valuable.
Exactly.
It's incredible.
It is, and it's not just spent grain. They're also looking at using agricultural residues, like straw and corn stover, things that are often burned or left to decompose, which releases harmful greenhouse gases.
Wow. It's amazing to think that these byproducts, which people usually see as a burden, could actually be a solution for a more sustainable future.
Yeah, I think it shows that innovation can come from looking at things differently, finding value where other people don't see it.
Absolutely. It also makes me think about how different industries could work together.
Oh, yeah.
You know, if we start to see waste as a resource, that opens up so many possibilities.
It does, for partnerships and cross-sector innovation.
Exactly. Imagine a future where different industries are collaborating to create these closed-loop systems where the waste from one process becomes the input for another.
It's a really beautiful idea.
It is. Okay, I want to shift gears a little bit and talk about, like, what consumers can do. You know, we've talked about the technology, the challenges, potential impacts. But what can regular people actually do?
Yeah, that's a great question.
To help support these sustainable solutions?
Well, I think a lot. The most important thing is to be a conscious consumer.
Think
about what you're buying, where it's coming from. Are there more sustainable options?
Yeah, I think food is a really good place to start. You know, we're making choices about food every day. Are you supporting local farmers? Are you choosing things with less packaging? Are you reducing food waste at home?
Those are all great things to think about.
Yeah, these small changes can really add up.
They can.
And it's not just about what you buy, right? It's about how you use it. Can you repair something instead of throwing it away? Can you compost? Can you walk or bike instead of driving? There are so many ways to lessen our impact.
Exactly. It's about making mindful choices. And knowing that everything we do has an effect.
Okay, so let's say you want to do even more. How can people, like, engage with companies and advocate for change on a larger scale?
Social media is a really powerful tool.
Okay.
Follow the companies you like, share their stuff, talk to them. Let them know you support them or challenge them to do better.
And don't underestimate the power of your wallet. Supporting businesses that align with your values. It's a real way to show that you care about a sustainable future.
Absolutely. Voting with your dollars can really make a difference.
And if you're feeling really passionate, you can even contact your elected officials and advocate for policies that support sustainability.
Absolutely.
It's important to remember that we're not alone in this. There are so many people and organizations and businesses working towards a better future.
For sure.
So connect with them, learn from them. Amplify their voices.
It's all about working together.
And don't be afraid to talk about these issues with your friends and family. The more we talk about it, the more normal it becomes.
Exactly.
We need to make sustainability a shared value, not just a niche interest.
Absolutely. It's about moving away from this idea that sustainability is a burden or a sacrifice and seeing it as an opportunity for innovation and creativity and a better way of living.
I love that it's recognizing that we're all interconnected, that our actions have an impact, and that we have to care for the planet. So as we're wrapping up this deep dive, I'm feeling a mix of hope and urgency. Hope, because companies like AIO are showing us what's possible. But also urgency, because we need to act now to make sure that these solutions can scale up and actually make a difference.
I agree. The future is uncertain.
Yeah.
But we have the power to shape it.
Right.
With the choices we make and the actions we take.
It's a good reminder that we're not just watching this happen.
Yeah.
We're all a part of it.
We're all participants in creating the future.
Exactly. And it's a future where innovation and sustainability are working together.
Yeah.
We're using technology for good and where we're living in harmony with the planet.
It's a beautiful vision.
I think that's a beautiful vision, but I also know some of our listeners might be feeling a little overwhelmed right now.
Yeah.
It's like, where do you even begin?
Yeah.
When the problem feels so huge.
Right. I get that it can feel like a lot, but, change doesn't happen all at once.
Right.
It starts with small individual actions that kind of build up over time.
So where would you suggest people start?
Well, I always tell people to start by looking at their own habits.
Okay.
What are you buying?
Yeah.
Where's it coming from?
Okay.
Are there more sustainable choices out there?
I think food is a great place to start because we're making decisions about food every day.
Yeah.
So are you supporting local farmers?
Right.
Are you choosing products with less packaging?
Yeah.
Are you trying to reduce your food waste?
Oh, good questions.
Yeah, all those little things, they can make a difference.
They do add up.
They do. And it's not just about what you're buying, right?
Right.
It's how you're using it.
Yeah.
Can you repair something instead of just throwing it away?
Mm-hmm.
Can you compost?
Yeah.
Can you choose to walk or bike instead of drive?
Right.
There are so many ways to make an impact.
There are. It's about thinking about our choices and knowing that all of our actions have consequences.
Okay, so let's say someone is ready to do more.
Yeah.
How can they engage with companies? How can they advocate for change on a bigger scale?
Well, social media is a good way to start.
Okay.
Follow the companies you like.
Yeah.
Share their stuff. Talk to them.
Yeah.
Let them know that you support them or that you want them to do better.
Right. And also don't forget about the power of your money.
Yeah.
Supporting businesses that match your values is a real way to show you care about a sustainable future.
It is. You're voting with your dollars.
Exactly.
That can make a difference.
It can. And if you're really passionate about this, you can even contact your elected officials and advocate for policies that support sustainability.
Absolutely. And it's important to remember that we're not in this alone.
Yeah.
There are so many people and organizations and companies that are working towards a better future.
So connect with them, learn from them, help amplify their message.
Yeah, because we're stronger together.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to talk about this stuff with your friends and family.
Yeah.
The more we talk about it, the more normal it becomes.
Absolutely.
We need to make sustainability like a shared value, not just something that a few people care about.
I agree. It's about moving away from this idea that sustainability is a burden or a sacrifice and seeing it as an opportunity for innovation or creativity and a better way of living.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's realizing that we're all connected.
Yeah.
Our actions have an impact, and we have to take care of the planet.
Absolutely.
So to all of our listeners out there, don't underestimate the power you have to make a difference.
Yeah.
Every choice you make, every action you take helps create the kind of future we'll have.
So choose hope.
Yeah.
Choose action. Choose a sustainable future.
And remember, we're all in this together.
We are.
Until next time, keep on diving deep.
Thanks for listening to the Nordic Venture Show. Don't forget to subscribe and stay tuned for more stories of innovation from the Nordics.